Alara had always been known in her village as the Princess of Patience. From the moment she was born, people whispered that she had a quiet strength, a calm that could soothe storms and fears alike. But behind her serene smile, Alara carried a deep longing, a yearning for adventure beyond the stone walls of the castle. She would often sit by the highest tower, gazing at the forest that stretched like a dark ocean, wondering what secrets lay hidden beneath its thick canopy. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills and painted the sky in shades of amber and violet, a strange sound echoed through the castle corridors. It was neither a whisper nor a shout, but something in between, a melody that tugged at the corners of her heart. Curious and unafraid, Alara slipped from her room, her bare feet making soft echoes on the marble floors. She followed the sound to a door she had never noticed before. Its wood was dark, carved with swirling symbols that seemed to shimmer as she touched them. With a trembling hand, she opened the door and stepped into a chamber bathed in golden light. In the center floated a small, glowing orb, pulsating like a heartbeat. Fear mingled with awe as she reached toward it, and the moment her fingers brushed the light, the room transformed. Shadows stretched into towering shapes, and a cold wind whispered her name. Alara, it said, soft but insistent. The princess's heart raced, but she felt an odd calm within her, as if the voice knew her deepest fears. Suddenly, the orb shattered, scattering shards of light across the chamber. From the shadows emerged the figure cloaked in silver, with eyes that gleamed like stars. You have patience, child, but do you have courage? Alara's throat tightened. Courage, she realized, was different from patience. Patience waited, endured, forgave. Courage acted, faced the unknown. She swallowed her fear and nodded. I will face whatever comes. The figure extended her hand and the world shifted. The castle vanished, replaced by a forest alive with sounds she had never heard. Trees whispered secrets, leaves rustled with urgency, and the air smelled of rain and mystery. Alara took a step, then another, each one shaking her nerves, yet strengthening her resolve. She felt invisible eyes watching, testing her, judging whether she deserved the path she had chosen. And then she heard it, a low growl, the kind that rises from the earth itself. From between two twisted oaks, a shadow moved. It was a wolf, massive and silver-eyed, with fur that seemed to absorb the moonlight. Alara froze, her body frozen between fear and fascination. She remembered the words of the cloaked figure, courage. Slowly she knelt, offering her hand. I am not your enemy, she whispered. For a heartbeat, nothing happened, and her heart thudded violently in her chest. Then, the wolf's ears twitched, and it stepped closer, sniffing, testing her sincerity. When it finally nudged her hand with its nose, Alara felt a thrill of triumph, a bond forming that she could not explain. The wolf led her deeper into the forest, where the trees grew taller and the shadows thicker. She realized that each step forward required more than bravery. It required trust in herself, in the unknown, and in the strange magic guiding her. They came to a clearing where the ground was covered in delicate, luminescent flowers, and in the center stood a mirror, taller than any tree. But this was no ordinary mirror. It shimmered with a light that made the air hum. Look, whispered the wolf, its voice echoing in her mind. Alara approached, and in the reflection, she saw not just herself, but countless versions of her. Some crying, some laughing, some trembling with fear, others standing tall and proud. Each reflection represented a choice she could make, a path she could take. Panic surged, threatening to overwhelm her. But then she remembered the patience she had cultivated all her life. Slowly, she raised her chin, took a deep breath, and reached out to the mirror, touching it with unwavering intent. A shock ran through her, not of pain, but of revelation. She saw her village, her family, and the people who believed in her, but she also saw a future full of unknowns, where every step forward demanded faith, bravery, and wisdom. Tears streamed down her face, tears of fear, awe, and determination. The reflections merged into one, and the mirror dissolved, leaving behind a small silver key in her palm. "This is your path," whispered the wolf. "It begins with courage, guided by patience." Ilara returned to the castle as dawn broke, the sky painted in pink and gold. The corridors seemed ordinary, yet she knew they were forever changed, carrying the echoes of the forest, the wolf, and the lessons of the night. She placed the silver key in her chamber, a reminder that the world was vast, mysterious, and sometimes terrifying, but that she was ready. And though she was still the princess of patience, she now understood that true strength came from facing the shadows, trusting her heart, and daring to step forward when fear whispered to run. That night, as she lay in her bed, the moonlight spilling across her face, Ilara felt a warmth in her chest, a mixture of pride, hope, and quiet excitement. Somewhere beyond the castle walls, adventures awaited, and she knew she would meet them with patience, courage, and the unwavering belief that even in darkness, light could always be found.